Sure, be happy to.
Please call the meeting to order.
Lennon?
Here.
Roywood?
Here.
Leisure?
Here.
Fate?
Here.
Pabon? Ruiz? Aranella? Here. Carmichael?
Here.
Motion to excuse Pablon and Ruiz.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
In the mayor's absence, there needs to be a motion to appoint a temporary chair.
Be my motion to appoint Scott Lennon as temporary chair in the absence of the mayor.
Second.
Motion by Fate, seconded by Aranella, to appoint Scott Lennon as temporary chair. Do the roll call, please.
Lennon?
Yes.
Roywood?
Yes.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Yes.
Aranella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Yes.
Okay,
6.
Temporary chair.
Okay, can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we can remain standing, keep in our thoughts the prayers for the family of former First Lady Beverly Shaughnessy, who recently passed away, the men and women on the streets, and the victims and families at the elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, today. Thank you. Anyone who wishes to address the open forum, please come forward and state your name and address.
Good evening, my name is Jamie Franklin. My address is 30.
Jamie, could you make sure that your microphone is turned on? Green?
Better? Is that better? Yes. Good evening. My name is Jamie Franklin, and I live at 3421 Winona Avenue in the First Ward. Just as some background, I am an attorney. I'm the director of the Civil Litigation Clinic at Chicago-Kent College of Law. I'm a Berwyn homeowner. I'm a member of the BDC, and I have served on the Berwyn Historic Preservation Commission when we actually had one. And I drafted our current Berwyn Historic Preservation Ordinance. I'd like to speak about the COVID funds that Berwyn has been awarded. I'm going to start with the $32 million in funds that Berwyn has been awarded under a program called the American Rescue Plan. There's also an additional nearly $2 million from other COVID-related funds. So the total is nearly $34 million that we've been lucky enough to receive. That is a lot of money, and that money could do a lot of good for the citizens of Berwyn. I would have thought that we Berwyn residents would have been informed about receiving this much money, but that wasn't the case. My alderman didn't inform me of it. I only learned about this money after issuing a FOIA request to the city in March, seeking information about the COVID spending of COVID funds. I understand, and I've seen a written budget that was made available last week at a third ward meeting, explaining that the city of Berwyn has already voted on how it is going to spend all of that money. How was the budget decided on? Were there community meetings, listening sessions? Was there a way for the citizens to suggest uses for the money? Was there a grant application process? Was there a citizen oversight board? No. The mayor and city council decided how the money would be used without one iota of public input. So how is Berwyn spending our $34 million of COVID relief funds? I'll start with the ARPA funds, the $32 million in ARPA funds. $24,500,000 is slated to go to 3 water main replacement projects. One in the Depot District, which has already started, one on Ogden, and one on Cermak. There's no breakdown of how these funds will be spent, just these giant round numbers. As a side note, I was told in a different meeting that the Depot project was fully funded without any mention of ARPA funds, so that's a little strange. As another side note, the budget mentions that lead pipes need to be replaced, and we're all for that. That's really important. But I also understand that the city is paying a contractor, Robinson Engineering, in a no-bid contract, to work up a plan for the EPA to issue grants to replace all residents' lead water lines with no cost to the city or to the residents. That is not mentioned in the budget. Next, $8,772,501 are going to the police and fire departments, including the expansion of the police department building that will nearly double it in size. Of that amount, $3.85 million is going to expanding the dispatch center at the police station, and a whopping $2.1 million is being spent to rebuild the police department parking lot. $2.1 million for a parking lot. The rest is slated for IT projects, a library generator, and one small piece allocated to improving business licensing procedures. So just like that, $32 million has been spent. What is missing in Berwyn's budget? Funds that help the citizens directly and improve our quality of life. Other cities are allocating money to things like cash subsidies to low or moderate homeowners, small business grants, legal aid funds, home repair funds for homeowners, grants to arts organizations, child welfare, job training, food insecurity programs, school-based and community-based mental health services, etc., all of which we desperately need here in Berwyn. Berwyn's budget did not allocate $1 to any of those things, 0. Where was the community input? There was none. As for the other $2 million, that came from 3 sources: the CARES Act, CDBG-CV funds, and the Cook County COVID-19 Funding Response Plan. Of that, my understanding is that $1.1 million was supposed to go to short-term mortgage, rental, and utility assistance to Berwyn residents impacted by COVID. How many Berwyn residents actually got grants? 1. One Berwyn resident got $2,295 in rent relief. The city says that it only received 37 applications and that all the others were deficient. So think about that. One out of $1.1 million directly allocated to the residents and the landlords who suffered from economic effects of the lockdown, one Berwyn resident was given a small grant. The rest of it was reallocated to the city. It was sucked back into the system. So those are the numbers. In wrapping up, I want to make sure that people are aware of what is happening with their money. We want equitable, transparent, and accountable distribution of these funds. Yes, I understand that the city has already voted for this budget, but the money has not yet been spent in its entirety. Half of it has not even been received yet. It is by no means a done deal. We can change this. I was hoping to be able to address the mayor tonight, but Alderman Lennon and city council members, can we count on you to involve the community to reallocate some of the funds to the projects that directly address the needs of Berwyn residents? I hope the answer is yes. May I submit my comments for the minutes?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Yadira Padilla, and I'm the Vice President of JSA, and this is my Chief of Staff, Nyla Lawson. We are representatives from JSA and are part of the planning committee for this year's upcoming Juneteenth Festival commemoration. We are here again today to ask for your support in our planning process. If willing, we would like you to sponsor us in any way, form you would be willing to provide, whether that is funding or donating items for our various family-oriented activities. Should you wish to sponsor us as JSA, please contact our teacher advisors Pauline Guman at pguman@jsmorin.org and Jonathan Carrillo at jcarrillo@jsmorin.org. Thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Good evening. Hi, Scott. My name is Mary Gabbert, and I reside at 3413 Home Avenue. So I'm a nurse case manager. I work with Medicaid patients for a local MCO. When I reach out to the patients after they've been discharged from the hospital, I'm not just looking at their medical, emotional needs, but also at other things that might be affecting these elements, also known as social determinants of health. Do they feel safe in their home? Do they feel safe in their community? Are they having difficulty paying for their food, their rent, electric, water bills, their garbage bills, medical bills? How do they get to their appointments? What kind of emotional support do they have? Family, friends, neighbors? These are the kind of things I'd like to see the city, Berwyn, supporting our community. This is ideal. This is an ideal opportunity with this money that we have received from the federal government to support these kinds of needs. Also, children, after-school programs. You know, one of my biggest concerns are children that fall into gangs. I saw it when I lived in Little Village in Chicago, and I'm seeing some of it here. And of course, there's crime, you know, and the gangs are contributing to that crime here in Berwyn. And my real concern is that Berwyn is not catching these kids before that happens. And my request to you is also to support the schools and after-school programs, the community that provides these after-school programs, using the parks to open up to the kids games, sports, so they can actually compete with one another, be physically active. That's really important for these kids with their growing years, to become fully active participants in our community when they grow up and not get caught up in gang activity. Having people be there for them when the parents are still at work, and that's what these after-school programs could really benefit these kids and our community in the long run. Also, people who can't afford their medical bills. Some people don't have insurance. You know, they may have some patients, like I deal with Medicaid, but people who can't afford Medicaid, or they don't qualify for Medicaid, but they can't afford insurance. It would be nice if this community, if Berwyn could support them, put monies to whatever organization here that can support these people. We need funding for these social services here, and it's very disappointing to see I didn't see any of these monies that we're receiving going to social services whatsoever. So I'm pleading with you guys, if you would really consider this. I would like to see Berwyn to be a healthy, strong community, and with our youth especially, I'm really concerned about them. What's their future going to be looking like? We also need more trees. I'm really into beautification, but also global warming. You know, we've got the trees will take in CO2 and they put out oxygen, so it benefits us all, and bike lanes as well. Kids are getting physical activity with that, and adults. Come on, guys. And Chicago has them. Why can't we get one street that connects into the city, Chicago's bike lane, so somebody can go to work via bike, that bike lane from Berwyn to Chicago. My husband does it, and I worry about him all the time because he's not using a bike lane here. Okay, I think I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Martha Chiplis, and this is John Dunleavy and Mary Parentow. And we are here representing the Berwyn Tree Canopy Initiative, a local grassroots organization that formed last year in support of tree care and planting in Berwyn. Among many other benefits, trees help clean the air, cool summer temperatures, and help with storm water. We applaud the city and community on the recent Arbor Week, but we also know that there's a lot more that needs to be done every week. Earlier this month in Chicago, the mayor's office announced an initiative called Our Roots Chicago as part of that city's 2022 Climate Action Plan, and to show that city's commitment to environmental justice and equity. Under that plan, the city of Chicago will plant 75,000 trees over the next 5 years. That's more than one new tree for every 36 people living in Chicago. Chicago with a 2020 population of $2.7 million. For Berwyn, a 2020 population of 57,250, the equivalent would be 1,590 trees. So 318 new trees per year for each of the next 5 years.
And looked at a different way by geography rather than by population. Chicago's land area is 227 square miles, and their plan would be to plant just over 329 trees per square mile of land, the Berwyn equivalent of 329 trees per square mile for our 3.9 mile square area would be just over 1,283 trees over 5 years. So that's 256 trees per year for each of the next 5 years. Now, there are a lot of differences, of course, between Berwyn and Chicago, but we do think it's a good way to look comparatively at commitment to growing the tree canopy. We also understand from recent comments by Berwyn officials that Berwyn actually plants 70 to 93 trees per year and has plans for up to 100 per year, and that is obviously a lot less than 256 or 318. And we understand that the new grant-funded Berwyn tree inventory has been completed, and we look forward to that being shared with the community. We understand the new inventory counted 10,585 parkway trees in Berwyn, and we understand that public records show the 2013 inventory counted 12,632 trees, so we've lost more than 2,000 trees in just 9 years. So just to keep the number of trees even, we'd need to plant 222 trees every year. And we further understand the new inventory reports more than 4,000 available tree planting spaces. And just to know, Oak Park plants about 400 to 500 trees a year. And we think that in allocation of ARPA funds, tree planting should be a top priority. And we know Berwyn can do better by planting more trees.
Thank you.
Do you want,
What are your names on here? I didn't hear the people when you introduced. Do you have a reason? I don't have a reason. I had no merit. I'm good.
Hi, my name is Susie Donnelly, and I live in the 3rd Ward. I am here to speak similarly to what I spoke about last week and our choice of allocation. Sorry, I've got a tangle up here of funds, so much of it going to resources that don't actually provide direct support to the community members, which was what the intention of the ARPA funds was. But I want to speak around the transparency of your actions and how they affect Berwyn residents. At the 3rd Ward meeting, we were presented a very detailed plan by Ms. Green, I believe, admin manager of the city. My apologies, I have not met her before. But in that, she said 2 things that I think are really indicative of how the residents of this community are treated. She said that the elected officials, you, our aldermen, were chosen because you made your platforms and your beliefs and your values known to your constituents. That is categorically untrue. You refuse to debate with your candidates. You refuse to participate in Activist Toolkit, which is a way for residents to be able to see from your own words the answers to these same questions between all candidates for certain roles so that they can make educated, well thought out choices, especially when they are new residents to our community, which we have many, 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 many new residents coming into this community. That is not transparency. That's what we call sneaky behavior. And sneaky behavior is what we tell children to avoid because sneaky people try to do bad things. They'll stay within the lines of the law, but they'll skirt along them as closely as possible so that they can say, yes, I did what's legal, but not what's right. So that's the first problem that Ms. Green brought up. The second problem is that she also mentioned that we had plenty of opportunity to meet with our aldermen to give input on how these funds should be allocated, and that was categorically untrue as well. Richard Leja did not hold a ward meeting from May until November, and he did not hold another meeting until that March. In no way, shape, or form did he announce or provide information to the ward members that we were invited to come and give feedback or input that there was this much money available to us and that he would like to know what we thought. That is not transparent, that's sneaky. Additionally, I am disappointed to see that this city council is using ward meetings as though they are whole city meetings. They are ward meetings. And while I do appreciate that Mr. Leja brought our city admin leader, my apologies again, Ms. Green, to our meeting to give us this information after it had already been voted on and decided upon, I do not appreciate the fact that I would have had to go a first ward meeting to be able to find something out about some other budget at a police station. I would have had to, other people had to come to my third ward meeting to find out about this information. That is not transparency. Residents can barely be involved. We are tired, we are exhausted, we are begging you for more accessibility and engagement. You've stopped reading comments. I have had so many people reach out to us and tell us that they want to be able to provide comment, but their lives prohibit them from being here. So the few of us who can come, we speak up. And it does seem like it's only the same people, but we are talking because other people are talking to us. And your transparency is failing us. In 2019, you held a community meeting where we spent essentially $6,000 on just the individuals as they gave 4 hours of mental and emotional labor to this community on what was important to them. Do you know what those outcomes were? They came out in March 2020. I realize this was right before COVID, but if you want city input on what's important to us, let me tell you. And I will allow for the fact that better health care, financial stability, food stability, housing stability probably go on top of this entire list, but in the top list, in this entire list of items, nowhere is police funding in there. Nowhere is there, let's spend $8.5 million on a facility that was just built 20 years ago, on a parking lot that was just built 20 years ago, because our leaders have not had the foresight and forethought to plan better and spend better. How much money did this event cost? How much money did we give to the BDC to plan it, organize it, run it, market it? Create the plan, but no further communication has come out of it. And yes, it's possible that the Berwyn shops came out of it, but less than 50% of the people in those Berwyn shops are Berwyn residents. So let me read to you just really quick, and then I'll step off because I know there are a lot of other people who have things to say. Here's what the community said they wanted. Government communication and public relations. Better communication and transparency from our community government. That's a miss. I mean, yes, we've hired somebody, but so far I'm seeing Officer Romeo, who is super, super cute, really cute dog. But there's a lot of marketing about him, and there was nothing about $32 million to our city and how we can give you input. Video gambling because we don't want it. Administrative redundancy. Reduced and addressed. A better assessment around parking. As the bike person, get rid of it all and I'd be happy, but I understand the community feels differently. Multimodal transportation, though, got in there on number 5. Youth engagement. Our kids need help. You're upset about gangs. You're spending more money on more police. I want you to give them activities to do that are safe and engaging, that get their minds going, because they are genius little creators. Let's use it. They came to this meeting. They wanted to participate. How are you helping them do that? I mean, I love that the kids came here, but they've already had to go because they got stuff to do. Sorry, I'll correct that. Representation of the Latinx community and other people of color. I think we missed. Economic development, yes, the Berwyn shops address that, but do we really? How many of the BDC shops are Berwyn residents and Berwyn businesses? Can anybody answer that? Because I think it's 3, maybe at most. Infrastructure and community cleanliness. And lastly, community engagement. That is what your constituents told you they wanted just before the pandemic, and what have you given us? You've given us sneaky behavior. And I'm asking you to please stop. The residents of this community are telling you to stop. And there are a lot of new people. And when they see $34 million was spent on a building that was built 20 years ago, what are they going to think? And they're the ones who are making votes on the next election.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the council, my Berwyn neighbors and friends. I'm Tony Ward. I'm the president of the Combined Veterans of Berwyn. I didn't come here to praise Caesar. I didn't come here to bury him. I came here to announce to you all that we will, as we have always done, have Memorial Day services here in Berwyn. There will be 4 separate services. You are free to attend any or all of them. The first starts at the township office a block and a half away at Electric Park at 10 a.m. We then walk down the street here to our memorial directly below us here at 10:30. We then proceed over to the World War I monument at Ogden, Ridgeland, and 34th Street. We normally don't do that one. However, I made an exception, an executive decision this year. Many of you in this community know Lucille Evans. She has one of her relatives on that monument. She's 94 years of age. Will she be here next year to celebrate Memorial Day? So I made a decision to hold a special ceremony for her to be able to get there to remember her relative. And the 4th one, it takes place in Stickney at the cemetery at 41st and Oak Park, as we've always done. Just so you know, there's over 250 Berwyn citizens who gave their lives ever since 1918, as far back as World War I. We can't ignore them. This is not a happy day for us veterans. Any veteran worth his salt has a brother or a sister who's died in service to this country to give us the freedoms that we celebrate every day. So please, I'll pass these out among the council members. If there are any left, we'll place them on the table. And I ask the council members to very simply put it on your social media. Let people know that we are still an American community celebrating our veterans 100%.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Steve Taylor. I am in the 3rd Ward at 27th and Kenilworth. Thank you for the opportunity to speak in the open forum because government should work for me, a citizen. I want to address my concerns today with the council that they lack the fiduciary responsibility we expect from our elected elders.
Thank you.
Berwyn received a significant amount of money from the American Rescue Plan of 2021 to be used for eligible costs, which include, number 1, respond to the negative economic impact to households, small businesses, nonprofits, and industries such as hospitality. Number 2, address the negative economic impact to workers, households, small businesses, and industries in the public sector. Number 3, provide premium pay to eligible workers of municipality that perform essential work. 4, supplement a reduction in revenue to a municipality due to missing revenue due to the pandemic. Number 5, make necessary investments in water and public broadband infrastructure. The city chose to take the standard allowance of $10 million instead of calculating lost revenue to spend on government services. Therefore, the city prioritized lavish expenditures for government and deprioritized individuals, households, small businesses, nonprofits, Berwyn's industry, and public broadband infrastructure. The council then approved this scheme and subverted the beneficial intent of the American Rescue Plan. The council is supposed to represent their constituents, which are households, individuals, small businesses, nonprofits, and industry, but they chose government. A reasonable person would find this proposal inappropriate. We must hold our council accountable. Scott Lennon is a second-term alderman and chair of the Budget, Finance, and Revenue Committee. He failed us when he couldn't show leadership and vision to advocate for our community. That committee has a fiduciary responsibility to ensure our money is spent wisely. Instead, they were complacent to greedy fingers in the piggy bank. To be clear, this is not the first time he acted against our best interests. These funds were allocated and rushed to a vote. In the absence of Scott's leadership, the council still voted in favor of the city's plan without public hearings and input from residences. We are requesting council to halt spending ARP funds and hold public listening sessions to assess how the residents would like our money spent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Claudia Ayala, City Communications. I just wanted to refer to the documents that were placed on the elected officials, council members' desk, and also to inform the residents that are here today that the city would like to thank the Chicago Metropolitan Agency Planning for their support through the Local Assistance Program for Capital Improvement Program Technical Assistance. A capital improvement plan is known as SIP, is a 10-year plan used to identify, prioritize, and schedule capital projects and purchases that have long-term usefulness. Recently, we've teamed up with CMAP in order to develop a capital improvement plan feedback, which will be in a virtual town hall meeting that's going to take place June 1st at 10 a.m. And you will also see that on your desk is the flyers that residents can also pick up right there on that table, which gives you 2 QR codes, one for the virtual town hall meeting, and the second one is the actual capital improvement plan, which is available in Spanish and English. It's a quick 10-minute survey which will tell us which transportation investments you think we should focus on, and you can always scan it and take it online, and you can also get a paper copy from our engineering department, and this will be starting tomorrow. I will also make sure that every council member gets emailed a copy as well so that you guys can all disseminate it in your own platforms. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Michael Solway. I'm a longtime resident of the First Ward, residing at 34th and Winona, and I thank those who have spoken before me, sharing their concerns and visions for a better Berwyn. However, we cannot move forward as a community without transparency from our city leaders. When legislation affecting city residents happens in a dark vacuum, without a public forum, the citizens are at a disadvantage, and our tax dollars and quality of life is held hostage by a select group of political insiders. Critical decisions that impact all citizens are forced through the council votes without any public input or oversight. In fact, when there is a public hearing, the bare minimum of the Open Meetings Act guidelines are followed by posting meetings a mere 48 hours in advance in places with times and dates that are inconvenient for working people and people with children. Oh, by the way, yes, they do post them in the Chicago Sun-Times. You know, public notices. Who in this room is still a subscriber to the Chicago Sun-Times? Guess nobody. Yeah, okay. The alderman and the mayor could easily post these meetings via numerous community information pages on social media. It's almost as if they don't want our input. when residents speak out either in this council chamber or on social media, yes, social media is a highly effective means of sharing a message to a large group of concerned citizens, they are labeled as political enemies. For example, the Chief Samaglia, recently took time away from his duties to release an online cease and desist threat to a citizen of this town exercising their First Amendment rights through political satire. What is particularly disturbing is a letter that Mayor Livero posted on our city website on May 16th, shaming 2 city council members who disagreed with the mayor and his DCOB voting bloc regarding the use of ARPA funds. So, let's take a look at some of the quotes from the letter. And I quote Mayor Livero, "Clear and fact-based communication between elected officials and its citizens is critical in creating trust to inspire residents to become involved in their community by shaping public policy and addressing the concerns most important to our residents." Facts? Whose facts, Mayor Livero? Sorry you're not here to hear this, but I'm sure Scott will tell him. The letter continues. Berwyn Police Department presented plans to the City Council for approval of ARPA funding after a year of cooperative committee planning and eventual public hearings on the matter. When and where were these eventual public hearings? Does eventual mean after the council has voted and approved a spending plan? And finally, its most punitive rhetoric. In closing, and this is Mayor Livero speaking, I cannot stress enough the importance of providing clear and fact-based information to our residents and the responsibility that we have as elected officials to protect the public trust. False and intentionally misleading narratives disguised as concerns and gaps create a dangerous environment and impede our purpose to authentically represent constituents and serve accordingly. So, if you were here, Mr. Mayor, what exactly is dangerous about elected officials voicing their personal concerns to the voters who elected them? This letter suggests fascist-era language that Mussolini used against his detractors. We are far beyond the days of shadowy deals and smoke-filled rooms, and we demand transparency and public involvements in the issues that affect all of our lives. This is our city. This is our money. Never forget, all of you, that you work for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman, anything for open forum?
I have one thing,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. I just want to let everybody know that on June 28th, we have an important primary coming up. This room is used for voting. The state legislature determined to have the primary on June 28th. That's usually our regular last Tuesday city council meeting in June, and the council voted some time ago not to have a meeting on that date so that we could have this room free for voting purposes. So if you have any items that need to be submitted for the agenda, please make sure that we get them on and heard at our first city council meeting in June. Thank you.
Thank you. Item C1.
Item C1 are the Committee of the Whole and regular meeting minutes of May 10th, 2022.
Be my motion to approve the Committee of the Whole and the regular City Council meetings of May 10, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Fate, second by Roywood. All in favor?
Aye.
Item D1.
Item D1 is a communication from Public Works Director Schiller regarding a recommendation to award the proposal for the replacement of the Green Alley Replacement Grant Project.
Be my motion to concur with Director Schiller and the lowest bidder, J. Nartelli Concrete, with a bid of $1,588,075 and a 5% contingency of $79,404 for a total of $1,667,479.
Second.
Motion by Fate, second by Arenella. All in favor? Or clerk, call the roll.
Lennon.
Yes.
Roywood.
Aye.
Leisure.
Aye.
Fate.
Aye.
Aaronella.
Aye.
Carmichael.
Aye.
6 ayes, Mayor, sorry.
Thank you. Item E1.
Item E1, a communication from David Holzberg, BDC Executive Director regarding a special event request, Project Homegrown Grand Opening.
Motion to approve Director Hallsberg's request for June 3rd from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. for police, fire, and public works if needed.
Second.
Motion by Fate, second by Carmichael. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item F1.
Item F1 is a communication from the mayor regarding reappointments to the Police and Fire Commission.
I move that we concur with Mayor Levero to reappoint Gil Pena to a 3-year term as a Police and Fire Commissioner as of May 24, 2022. Continue.
Second.
Motion by Leja, second by Fate. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
One nay? Okay.
There's another name on here.
Yes.
Oh,
It's going to be 2 motions.
okay.
I move that we concur with Mayor Robert Levero's recommendation to reappoint Ana Espinoza to a 3-year term as a Police and Fire Commissioner as of May 24, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Leja, second by Arnella. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good. Can we call Anna and Gil up here?
Please raise your right hands. Do you, Ana M. Espinoza and Gil Pena, do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and faithfully discharge the duties as a reappointed member of the Fire and Police Commission according to the best of your abilities? Great, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Gil, that's your card. Can you sign there? Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Item G1.
Item G1 is a communication from the clerk informing the council that there was a request to call a public hearing for a CMAP meeting on June 15th.
I motion to approve the request to hold a public hearing scheduled for June 8th, 2022, to be held in City Council. That's a change in the date from the June 15th original date.
Second.
Motion by Woodward, second by Fate. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item I1.
Item I1 is communication from Alderman Lennon and Alderman Leisure regarding sidewalk cost share program.
Motion to refer this to the Public Works Committee for current sidewalk share program and dangerous sidewalk repair.
Second.
Motion by Fate, second by Leja. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
J1.
J1 is a communication from Director Schiller, approval of attached pay request number 9 to Pan Oceanic Engineering for the Depot District Utilities.
Motion to approve Director Schiller's request for approval of pay request number 9 to Pan Oceanic Engineering, amount of $4,408.52.
Second.
Motion by Fate, second by Arnella. On the call of roll?
Lennon?
Abstain.
I think he should vote, Cliff. I don't think he should vote.
Oh,
Call
okay,
for vote.
thank you. Boywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Arinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
5 ayes, Chair.
J2?
J2 is a communication from City Administrator Green regarding property, inland marine, and auto physical damage insurance renewal.
I move that we concur to authorize city administration to execute a contract with Liberty Mutual Insurance for property, inland marine, and auto physical damage with a maintained $10,000 deductible in the amount of $132,512.
Second.
Motion by Leja, second by Fate. On the call of roll?
Boywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Arinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
5 ayes.
Thank you. J3?
J3 is a communication from Ms. Green regarding police and fire pension fiduciary funds renewal.
I move that we concur with Administrator Green to approve the policy for fiduciary insurance for the Berwyn Pension Fund with ULLICO in the amount of $6,408 premium and fees.
Second.
Motion by Leja, second by Boywood. On the call of roll?
Boywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Arinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
5 ayes.
J4?
Second
I-
recommendation.
Oh, on the other one?
Yeah.
J3, recommendation 2.
I move that we concur with Administrator Green to approve the policy for fiduciary insurance for the Berwyn Fire Pension Fund with ULLICO in the amount of $5,232 premium and fees.
Second.
Motion by Leja, second by Boywood. On the call of roll?
Boywood?
Aye.
Leisure?
Aye.
Fate?
Aye.
Arinella?
Aye.
Carmichael?
Aye.
5 ayes, Chair.
J4.
J4 is a communication from Building Director Lazara requesting approval of demolition of the building at 6508 West 16th Street.
Motion to concur with Director Lazara for the demolition at 6508 West 16th Street.
Second.
Motion by Fate, second by Arinella. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? J5?
J5 is a communication from Director Lazara regarding demolition of 6510 West 16th Street.
Motion to concur with Director Lazara for demolition of 6510 West 16th Street.
Second.
Motion by Fate, second by Arinella. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And consent agenda?
Make a motion to pull out item K14 and make a slight amendment to it to not include alley closures, traffic control, and barricades. Those will not be needed.
Okay, I'll second that.
Wait, K14.
Motion by
Is it J14?
Carmichael, second by Fate.
K14.
K14, the Juneteenth Unity Festival at Prosky
You
Park.
won't need any of that stuff?
No.
They won't,
Yep.
Okay.
The first motion is the motion to,
And I
pull.
seconded.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. And motion
Well, we
to,
need a vote,
okay.
So,
a vote on the motion.
motion. Motion by Carmichael, second by Fate. Oh, motion by Fate, second by Carmichael. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Okay, now's your turn.
And I'll make a motion to append the Juneteenth Universal Festival submission to retract the need for alley closure, traffic control, and barricade, and pass that with those amendments.
Second.
Motion by Carmichael, second by Leja. All in favor?
Aye.
All Dematic committee meetings?
Wait, we need to pass the rest of it.
I'll make a motion
Oh,
to,
got it.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Carmichael, second by Aaronella. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aldermanic Committee meeting?
Call the chair.
Call of the chair.
Call the chair, but I'll put a meeting for Public Works Committee for Alicia, 6th Ward Alderman, June 13th at 5 PM.
Thank you. Aaronella?
Call the chair.
Carmichael?
Call the chair, motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All right.
Motion by
All in
Carmichael.
favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all.
Aye.
Was the second by Aaronella?
Yes.
To adjourn?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
No, it was,
Leisure.
Leisure.
Okay.
He's the one who wanted to get out of here.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
8:54.
New rhythm we gotta get into.
What?